Hey everyone, today I'm going to answer your burning questions from the latest episode I did on sun protection. So let's get right to it today. Our first question comes from Leslie H, and she asked if we could explain the difference between SPF 30 and SPF 50. And she says that most people say 50 is better. So in case you missed that sun protection episode, SPF, it's a measure of how well sunscreens and sunblocks protect against UVB rays. And those are the rays that can burn your skin. So SPF is calculated based on how long it takes to sunburn skin treated with sunscreen as compared to skin with no sunscreen. So if you use an SPF 30 product, and if you use it properly, it would take you about 30 times longer, which is about 300 minutes longer to burn than if you use no sun protection at all, and that's about 5 hours. Now, if you use an SPF 50 product properly, it would take you about 50 times longer to burn than if you use no sun protection at all. But SPF 50, it does not mean about twice the protection of SPF 30. So SPF 30 products, those sunblocks, they block about 97% of UVB rays, but the SPF 50, it blocks about 98% of UVB rays. So the difference between the SPF 30 and the SPF 50, it's only about 1%. Our next question today, it comes from Richard R, and he asked, what effect does using sunblocks or sunscreens every day of the year have on our ability to naturally produce vitamin D, and what effect does it have on our vitamin D levels? So as Richard mentioned, one way to get vitamin D is through exposure to sunlight. And Richard's correct. Sunblocks, these are designed to physically block UV rays, and from the sun, and sunscreens, they chemically block UV rays. So this does mean that vitamin D production in our skin is affected when we use sunscreens and sunblocks. But, important message, while sunscreens and sunblocks, they do reduce our body's ability to synthesize vitamin D, they also dramatically reduce the risk of skin cancer. So make sure you're using your sun protection. Now, despite the ability of sunblocks and sunscreens to block UVB rays, clinical studies do not show that everyday sunscreen or sunblock usage leading to vitamin D insufficiency. So people who are using sunscreens and sunblocks daily, they're actually able to maintain vitamin D levels in the sufficient range. So why is this? No matter how much sunscreen or sunblock you use, some of the sun's UV rays will reach your skin. So as I mentioned, an SPF 50, it filters out about 93% of UVB rays. SPF 30 keeps out about 97%, and SPF 50 filters out about 98%. So that means anywhere between 2 and 7% of UVB rays, they're gonna reach your skin. So even if you use sunscreens and sunblocks daily, everyday use some of those sun's UV rays will reach your skin, which means you will be able to produce vitamin D. And it's also important to note that vitamin D, you can get it through foods. Fatty fish such as salmon, tuna, mackerel, they're great sources of vitamin D. And fortified foods like breakfast cereal, some orange juices, yogurts, margarines, they also have vitamin D as well. And of course, you can always get vitamin D through supplementation. So supplementation is just another great way to help achieve those adequate blood levels of vitamin D. And our last question for today is from Lisa M, and she wanted to know, why should we wear sunscreen indoors? So this is a great question. UVB rays, and those are the rays that can burn your skin, they cannot penetrate glass. But UVA rays, those are the rays that can prematurely age your skin, causing wrinkling and age spots. They can. So according to the American Cancer Society, the glass that's typically used in cars and homes and office windows, it's designed to block most UVB rays, but it does not offer protection from those UVA rays. So even if you're indoors, if you're close to a window, you still run the risk of exposure to the UVA rays and possible skin damage. Thank you to everyone that submitted a question. I love hearing from all of you. Please keep them coming, and I'll do my best to answer them in our monthly Q&A next month. I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.